and now we re-enter the world of print. The Ed Cunningham Award, sponsored by the Ford Motor Company, for Best Magazine Reporting, goes to Alissa Rubin of the New York Times Magazine for her article about female suicide bombers, How Aida Wanted to Die. In Iraq, Alissa captured an intimate and terrifying portrait of Aida, her background, and what drove her down this path. Alissa Rubin had intended to be here tonight. She'd been reporting from the Cunningham Valley last week, but had made it back as far as her home in Paris. Now she's a stranded victim of volcanic ash. Here to accept her award is her husband, James Costello.
Well, Alissa has, of course, not being able to be here, filed her remarks from overseas and asked me to give them a New York Dateline and to read them to you. They're brief. I was very sorry not to be here with you tonight, and it seems amazingly ironic that I made it out of the deadly Cunningham Valley in Afghanistan on the first leg of my journey back to New York, only to be stranded in Paris. I want to express my gratitude, first of all, to the Overseas Press Club for this award, which is a great and unexpected honor. I also want to thank my translator, Anwar Jabbar, who accompanied me through the hours and hours of interviews and who risked as much as I did in reporting this story. Women translators in war zones are perhaps even less numerous than women correspondents, and this was a story whose protagonists would only have shared their thoughts with other women. So I'm especially grateful to Anwar for her dedication and her skill. And of course, I thank my very supportive editors at the New York Times. In my years in Afghanistan and Iraq since September 11th, I kept asking myself and coming back to the same question: how could people come to hate Americans and other Westerners who they'd never met so much that they were willing to kill themselves in trying to kill us? When I met Aida, the would-be woman suicide bomber with whom I spent the most time, I felt as if finally I could begin to understand what drove those hatreds and angers. There were, of course, too many strands to be able to unravel all of them. Not only the drive for revenge, the hopelessness in marriage, the brainwashing by a terrorist cell, the demonization of others whom she did not know but by whom she felt wronged, but also the terrible lack of choices and possibilities for a woman of her background in an extremist community. But as I became more familiar with Aida, I came to see that even if I could never have answers to all of my questions, in telling her story and making her humanity visible to the reader, I would at least be showing how wary we should be of generalizations, and how important it is to try, even if only for a moment, to see the world through the eyes of those whose choices we condemn. Again, thank you so much for honoring this article.